Hi, I'm Brian Heimbach. I am the lead theater faculty, and the subject of my sabbatical in winter of 2021 was to write a second solo show for myself. Solo shows are an excellent way to maintain a professional performance aspect of my life while living in a smaller market where you don't often have opportunities to act, especially while you're trying to run a program and have a full-time job. So my first solo show, I received a grant from the Oregon Arts Commission to take it to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in Scotland, and it's a good thing I got that grant because I still lost a whole lot of money doing that show. So the idea with this sabbatical was to write a second show for myself so that when I was able to go to festivals, I could have the box office receipts from two shows. So I started my sabbatical with the intention of writing another show that I could perform two shows when I would go to festivals. I communicated with quite a few people who do this for a living that I met through Facebook, and they said doing two shows in one festival is pretty much suicide, and that probably it's really unlikely that you're going to be accepted into the same festival doing two shows. However, they did say that if you wanted to make a few extra bucks, you should come up with a stand-up routine for yourself that you can do at open mics or at late night in bars or whatever. So I decided that the second show was going to be largely stand-up. About 6 weeks into sabbatical, I had the required emotional breakdown where I was wondering, what was I doing? How was the show going to be different than the first show? Why was I trying to do stand-up when I knew nothing about it? And my husband said, "Why are you doing this? What do you want to write?" And I realized, I don't have to do this. And so therefore, the floodgates opened and I started writing. The original topic of my show was looking at toxic masculinity in the gay male culture. I expanded that to include gay Republicans. They do actually exist. And that is the bulk of what the show is about now. The next steps are I'm getting a workshop production October 16th, produced in Eugene through a relatively new production company called A Squared. And they are going to produce it again in December because that's going to give me time to do a rewrite between October and December, because these sort of things rewrites happen as you perform. So I need people to be my guinea pigs and try it out on. Later, hopefully earlier next year or sometime in the spring, Fuse Theater Ensemble in Portland, who run the Outright Theater Festival, hopefully they will be producing it. They did a workshop production and the first full production of my first show, and they've just acquired a brand new space, and they're looking to do shows, and they're looking particularly for solo shows because they're safer in the COVID world. You have less actors on stage breathing on each other, so they've actually already committed to doing it at some point in the future. And now I will have, by this time the spring rolls around, I will have two different shows that I can apply to festivals, which actually increases your chances of getting accepted in the first place. None of this would have been possible without a sabbatical. This isn't something that you can just do during the summer. I learned a great deal about myself as a writer, that writing has to be a thing I do daily, not just something I, do frenetically in the summer. I'm pleased to say that I write for an hour every morning, no matter what. I wouldn't be so arrogant to say that I identify as a writer, but it is something that I do now, and I'm extremely proud of that. And this is something that I can impart to my students, not just having those important artistic habits, but the importance for actors to create their own content, which is where the world is going. So, and also the possibility of networking with different theater festivals around the world. Of course, the question lingering in the air is, are you going to make this a virtual show? Well, no, I am not. Number one, comedy does not work virtually. However, I did develop a list of over 60 topics for standalone short queer storytelling pieces that I can create and put on a YouTube channel as a way to market this show when I am able to do it live. So I can include, I can have that virtual and electronic presence as a way to market the show and hopefully sell more tickets when I do get a gig somewhere. Where am I? Lost my notes. Also, I wrote more than just this solo show during Sabbatical. I wrote 2 10-minute plays, one of which has already been produced by SPA. It was produced last spring, and another one that I hope will be produced very soon. And one of my important takeaways was that I reminded myself why I got into theater in the first place. I actually became a theater major because I wanted to write plays. So this has given me the opportunity to reawaken that part of myself and to develop a structure to my daily life that can happen. One other really cool takeaway was that I realized that the outcomes that I created for the theater program with the help of the assessment team really kind of work, because I applied them all, from time management skills to developing an artistic aesthetic. I personally think if you're not trying to destroy the patriarchy, you really probably shouldn't be making art. That's just me. Everybody doesn't feel that way. But I feel much more connected to that purpose as an artist, and I am so very grateful to LCC for giving me the opportunity to do this. So thank you.